listeners of movies, for those of you who picked group number 2 and the balloon flower, this is going to be your reading. All right, so to start out, we've got astro dice. So I'm going to roll it 3 times. This could be your sun, moon, rising. It could be placements of a person that is significant in your life. Maybe it's family, maybe it's a partner. Doesn't have to be, but we're going to get quite a bit of confirmation in this one. So let's do it. We have Taurus. We have Scorpio. And one more. We have Leo. Interesting. All right. So now we're going to get some Scrabble tiles. I'll be so honest with you guys. I did film this already, but the energy was just a little bit off. And one of the messages that came out, I'll plug it in here after I look at what it looks like, and we'll edit it and we'll see. But here's that message. But yeah, the energy was just off in that reading, so let's see what happens now. Let's see what we get. Maybe this will be extra confirmation for you. Maybe that was for someone. We've got B. We have U. I like to go from the bottom. Ooh, we have bun. Buns. I can't make this up. Alright, let's get a couple more. I was gonna say bunny, even though we don't have a Y. Imagine we pull a Y. We have O, we have N, we have A, and one more, a V. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle them around. I mean, we do have, we've got buns. We have several N's, so N can be significant here. Yep, that's egg in Italian. Ooh, maybe there's something here about, yeah, other languages. We've got van, we've got sun, we've got sun, we've got sob. I'm hearing in a van by the river. So maybe that's something that's significant. Anyway, all right. So to get even more confirmation, we're going to look at your current situation / energy. And in that we have the balloon flower. So I'm actually going to read from the book. Just for a little bit, because it's a little complex when we talk about the balloon flower. So we've got silenced, we have suppression, and we have introspection. The energy is very heavy around this group. I'm not even going to lie. It feels like there's something here that you're breaking free from. This flower gets its name from the bulb-like shape it forms before it blooms. Although once it's fully grown, the bright flower takes on a star-like shape. So I do feel like there's something here about, like, you've gone through quite a bit of pain in the recent past. This flower symbolism for the natural elements gives this card a feeling of asking you to get in touch with your surroundings. And so, I wonder, with this introspection and the suppression, if you've been put in a position where you were isolated recently. Maybe, like, just certain things about how you were engaging with other people or who you were engaging with. Like maybe you were with someone who was just very controlling and they felt like they needed to know, every little detail about what you're doing, who you're with, and just, I'm getting like extreme control vibes from this. This card could also be asking you to speak up and advocate for yourself or someone in need. So, I wonder. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I was talking recently about like how some of the themes coming out in these general readings have been a little bit heavy, and I've had a hard time kind of getting through some of them. And so I just want to say that, if you've been in a situation where you have been held um, and under the watchful eye of someone who didn't have the best intentions for you. I feel for you. And yeah, I'm gonna I'll put some resources in the description, so that this way, if you need to find your way to help, you can absolutely find your way to help. um, I would say for some of you, maybe I'm getting this feeling that maybe you're already coming out of this. Maybe you found a way out, um, or maybe through something like this is something that you just recently left in the past. For some of you, maybe you're still kind of in this, and that does worry me a bit. Oh, I'm here with you. Let's move forward into the reading. Um, we have mantra that came out, and I think that this is so beautiful because it's speaking to this ability to really touch your own divinity. And it's likely that you're in a place where you've recently found some sort of spirituality, or you've found a deeper connection to just divine energies, in whatever way that resonates for you. Something that really just brings you peace and happiness, and it soothes your heart. I'm also I'm having trouble getting the words out as well. I feel like everything's just in my head and it's not flowing as easily. If you watch group number one, I feel like things were just flowing. um, but in this energy here, I do feel like just a lot of hesitation, and yeah, just more time thinking or planning. um, and so really the sense of divinity that you found is something that brings you peace. Maybe prayer is very important to you, and you like to just have those quiet moments where it's just you and your higher power. And maybe you're sitting in silence, or maybe you're just offloading details about your day. But it feels very much like whatever it is that this balloon flowers got you through, whatever stage you're in, maybe you're here and you're waiting for this bloom, or maybe you've just freshly bloomed. It's almost like this energy here has anchored you through that. I think that's beautiful. My heart. Okay, we're gonna look a little bit deeper in terms of your energy now in the situation. And we've got cunning, we've got victory, and we have rest. So touching back on that whole idea of you being in a place where you're being controlled by someone, through whatever manipulative tactics they may have been using against you. I feel like if you've come out of that, a lot of this is you having to be very cunning. And maybe this is something that's also in the far past for some of you, but it's something that is affecting how you move today. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you've had to be really strategic about how you've moved through life, in order to get this sense of victory. And now maybe you're also toying with this idea of being able to rest and being able to find rest. And maybe you feel like you need to just be doing and going and pushing and pursuing. There's a lot of this collective energy that's coming through in that sense, where I feel like a lot of us are starting to even wonder, it's well, if the world ends tomorrow, then what would all of this be for? I feel like it's hitting a lot of us a little bit more than it may have in the past. And so there's this push pull between continuing to do the work and just allowing yourself to be in a state of rest, but not wanting to feel guilty about being in this state of rest. And if this is something also where maybe you're remembering being in this environment of someone controlling you, and having to know every little thing, and so maybe even subconsciously you feel like you have to answer to someone. I can see that the sense of divinity that you have around you, surrounding you, and with you, that this is something that maybe you feel that you've placed that feeling on, well, I answer to my higher power now. But I want you to know that you can still be patient with yourself, and I'm sure that your higher powers are patient with you, and it's maybe hard to sort through some of the noise from the things that other people may have said to you. Like untangling knots. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's take a look at your essence. So we have the tear, and in the tear I can see that your essence is very watery, it's very flowy, and maybe it's been seen as emotional in a negative connotation. I don't see it that way. I think that there's beauty in this, and I love this imagery because it's like we can see here the there is these teardrop shapes, but these are precious gems, they're precious jewels. And so we can reframe the idea of crying and releasing tears as something to be ashamed of, or something that needs to be suppressed or silenced, right? We had that come out in the balloon flower. Yes. Silenced, suppression, introspection. Remember that you need to let out your emotions from time to time. It'll take courage and willpower, and even if it's slow going, you'll be better off by putting yourself first. Absolutely. Your essence right now is very watery, which makes sense because when we look at where you are currently in life, we had the Siren card come out. And in the Siren, I can see that you've gone through these, ebbs and flows of life, and you've had to navigate some pretty choppy waters. What's interesting is that we also have like this ruby over here. And so it's like you still have managed to find the beauty in life throughout each step of this, each pivot in your journey. I get the sense that you're in a place that you maybe didn't think that you would ever be in, and maybe that's on the positive or the negative side of it. But there's something about just feeling a bit like a fish out of water. We get a lot of watery imagery throughout this because it was water in the first group too. I don't really like talking about the other groups because I don't want you to feel like you made the wrong decision and maybe you should be, doubting your intuition and watching another group. But just, on a collective level, things are very watery here. Maybe most of my following are water signs. It would make a lot of sense. I do feel like maybe there's also an element here of singing because with the siren, we think about like siren songs and, yes, maybe she can lure men to their death, but when we look at the siren, we also can see that there's just, this beauty that's, very connected to nature, and it pulls us deep down under, and really forces us again into that place of like introspection and, darkness all around. Let's see what you've been given to work with. And we've got the ring. You have this ability to bring things together. It's also very similar to group number 1. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. Maybe are some of y'all trickling through? I'm just watching straight through. I do feel, yeah, there's some residual energies here. But anyway, the things that you've been given to work with, I think also there's just an element of commitment here. When we look at the ring, we look at the sense of having something that symbolizes our connectedness, and like it's just it's so cyclical, and you see how things come back. And I think that you're more connected to people and resources than maybe you give yourself credit for. You know, maybe that's some of you, but also I do get that, like, you know, even if you are still in this place, like, there's still something about it. Like, you still have something you can work with. There's still something that you can do. And like, I'm also thinking about like an engagement ring and, like, you know, how it symbolizes a promise, you know. Um, and so I feel like in terms of what you've been given, it's like you've been given these promises by your higher powers, your, you know, divinity, your beings of divinity that are around you, and they've given you these promises, and I think they've delivered on promises from the past. And there's this element of having faith that you just have to keep flowing, keep swimming. You know what I'm also hearing now? Swim down. Mm-hmm. Swim down from Finding Nemo. I don't know if you remember this part. It's also like people have been kind of posting it recently. If you're watching this when I'm posting this, which is the end of March 2026, um, but there's a scene where it's Nemo and Dory and Marlin, and Dory gets caught in the net with all these other fish, and all the fish are panicking and they're swimming in different directions. And Nemo says, "I know how to help." He's like, "We have to tell them to swim down." And Marlin's like, "No, we got to get out of here." But Dory's stuck. And so Nemo insists on saving Dory, and he goes and swims into the bottom of this net full of fish. And he's telling all the fish, he's like, "Swim down. You have to swim down." And he's telling, like, all then the fish at the bottom, they start swimming down too. And now the thing about it is that they talk about the fish at the top. And the fish at the top are now being exposed to air because they're above the surface of the water. And they can't really move. They're just flopping around at the top, helpless. But the fish at the bottom are starting to come together and swim down. And Nemo starts swimming his way up. And he keeps telling them, "Swim down, swim down." And now Marlin is on the outside of this net. And he's telling them, "Swim down, you've got to swim down." And all the fish come and they start swimming down together. And you see them slowly move from chaos and disorganized motions to being together and swimming down in a uniform way. And they start putting pressure on the net, and they swim down so hard it starts pulling the net further into the water. And then the fish at the top that were exposed to the air, that couldn't do anything, that were helpless, they start going below the surface, and they start being able to swim down as well, creating even more pressure. And now, mind you, Nemo's at the top, and so Nemo can't even breathe anymore, and he's just flopping there with Dory, hoping and praying that the message that he sent out of swim down, that everyone does it. And they all start swimming down. And finally, the pressure of all the fish swimming down in unison breaks the wood that was holding it up. And the whole net comes crashing into the water, and all of the fish are able to swim away free. Isn't it beautiful? I think it's so beautiful. And I think that you are in a very watery place. And I think that it is up to you to be part of that team. You made a commitment. The gods have committed to you too. And it's time for you to tell people to swim down. How has this affected and shaped your life? We have Althea. This is an initiation card. And Althea talks about, actually, you know what, let's read it from the book. We're so flowy right now. She's all the way at the end. Could you believe it? It is truth. Our soul recognizes the truth. When someone speaks it, a cool wave of relief washes over the room, and all the facts and figures in the world fall by the wayside. Such is the power of Althea. It has an undeniable resonance that goes beyond the rational. We can also recognize Althea by its contagiousness. When we hear someone speak the truth, we see the truth within ourselves and are more likely to tell our own story. The Althea card requires us to step toward an act of truth. This might look like a conversation, a gesture, a poetic act, or a ritual that honors the unveiling of what's been concealed. Reclaiming your own truth is a way to reclaim your vital energy, health, and sense of belonging in the world. Truth has its own wings, so set it free. Yes. Clarity, revelation, truth. It is said that the resonance of our voice changes when we speak of falsity. In this light, practice seeing the truth as a vibration. Absolutely. And we've got the yin yang here. We've got so many images of duality and still jewels and pearls and precious little things. Oh, my goodness. Bestie, we didn't even get to the part where I hype you up yet. We didn't even get there yet. Oh my goodness. Know that you've lived in this space, but you have more to work with than you give yourself credit for. We're going to look at what feminine energy needs nurturing in your life, and then we're going to go ahead into the tarot portion of this reading. All right, how's everybody doing? Is this the part? This will be the awkward part where I'm like, is it pandering? If you guys like what you see, please feel free to leave a comment, like or subscribe. Let me take this one. Yeah. Who are you? Who are you? There's so much feminine energy that's coming through here. You need to nurture so much feminine energy. We'll do this like this. Yes. Also, wait, I don't know. Is YouTube gonna... Are they gonna come for me for a little titty? Just in case. Okay. A lot of feminine energy needs to be nurtured within you, but the main things that are coming through, and it's interesting because we had all of that come, we had a couple come through for group number one. Yeah, there's still a lot of residual group number one energy here. Maybe you just like the sound of my voice and you're listening through. Maybe you're sleeping and I'm speaking to you while you are in the in-between space between dreaming and awake. I hope you're having great dreams. Anyway, back to you, group number two. So, I felt very called to at least look at them just because the nature of the cards that we pulled. So the first one that came out is HOTLINE, and she is the goddess of never not broken. Everything happens for my liberation. I choose to become only more love. And so now her story is very personal. She is a very close to the heart goddess to work with. But she's the goddess of never not broken. And she teaches us that a broken heart cannot be rebroken. It can only be open. And I see that here with the tear and the watery energy. Like you are just finding your way into being open. And I love that. We have Amaterasu. We have the goddess of light. We are all sacred mirrors reflecting back the same light. And so again, there's that energy of like, you know, connectedness and collaboration that I think you're missing out on because you're not seeing it for what it really is. Confirmation horns. I don't know if that picked up on the microphone, but somebody beat their horn very lightly outside. And so, you know, again, coming into the space of like allowing yourself to see the goddess and the other people that you meet in life and see the you in them as well, and understand that, you know, separation is an illusion. On the other side of this, we have the cosmic egg, which is the divine feminine as a whole. I hold the universe within me. I am a force of an ever-expanding love. This cosmic egg energy is just, like, it's giving fertile, it's giving abundant, it's giving mommy. And I think that all of that needs to be nurtured. It feels like, you know, there's, again, promises were made on either side of this. You know, you promise something to the gods and the gods promise something to you. And you're meant to use your self, your voice, your peace, to allow that peace and love and compassion to just be able to wash over other people as well. On the bottom of the deck, we have Sekhmet, the Red Lady. I am pure strength. I honor my anger by giving voice to it. Uh, they might come for me. They might come for me for waking up all these people. But we really need it. We really need it. And I feel that you've been coming from this place of suppression, and the goddesses want you to use your voice. I feel like the fate of the world is counting on it, bestie. All right, I'm gonna use a little bit of movie magic to. All right, welcome back. So let's take a look at what is so lovable about you. I won't be taking any reversals for this. We had an issue in group number 1, and I have a feeling that we're going to have the same issue throughout all of them, because a lot of our own internal monologues are clouded by big energy that's not even ours to be claiming. It's the oppressor's energy. So we're not going to be taking any reversals. We're going to look at the God's honest truth of what is lovable about you. So we have the, I'm going to read off the names of the cards with their counterparts, their tarot counterparts. So we have the Muse of Inspiration, or the King of Wands. We have the Page of Materials, or the Page of Pentacles. We have the Three of Inspiration, Three of Wands. We have the Knight of Emotions, Knight of Cups. We have the Star. Okay, a couple more. We have the Five of Swords. I was going to say, you better clarify. We have the Fool. And let's do one more. Okay. Oh, I see what happened there. I would love to watch that back and see exactly what that was. All right, on the bottom of the deck, wow, we have the Muse of Materials, or the King of Pentacles. We also have the Ten of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands that came out together. All right, what we love about you, is this straight? Oh, hold on. Let's get her moving a bit. Let's see if we can maybe do this. Right? And then you can see everything. I'm gonna just angle this down a little bit more. Yep. Cute. Okay. So, what is so lovable about you? Let me hype you up for a minute. You are somebody who understands that things need time, things need work, things need energy, and you get it. And I don't know, that cunning in the beginning of the reading, I think that you, yes, this is something that you needed to be able to do. And there's a lot of like very diplomatic energy here. I feel like you've created a lot for yourself, or you have this ability to create for yourself and to create for others. It's one of those like, if I'm eating, you're eating. And I think that a lot of that, I mean, unfortunately stems from you being in a place where maybe you know full well what it is. You know what it's like to struggle, to suffer. And because of that, it gives you a bigger heart when you see someone struggling and suffering, because you know firsthand what it's been, what that's been like for you, and what that could be like for that person that's going through this. I feel like you are in a really great place. Like, I don't know, we're looking at all that energy that's around you. Once you remove all of that from your aura, like, this energy is so powerful. Oh my gosh. Like, you are a planner, and you know how to make things happen through planning. And I think a lot of that maybe has gotten lost in again, just this chaos of whatever was trying to control you. And I feel like even to a certain extent, energetically, it was trying to control you as well. And maybe it even felt like, you know, you had all these dominoes lined up, but because you were so much in this whirlwind, when one started to tumble, they all started to tumble beautifully, but they were set up in a way that was just very chaotic, and it caused chaotic things to happen throughout the whole of it. It's just like this journey. I don't know. I'm seeing things on like a very big picture level, and I think that also like it plays into that muse of inspiration up at the top. Mm-hmm. You're somebody who is very sweet and compassionate. You can be very shy and timid, um, but you have a lot of great ideas, and you know how to inspire other people and like ignite that passion within them. Like, you work so well with others, you know. I feel like you have this incredible skill to be a mediator between other people and to bring people together. Like, I don't know, I'm just looking at like, we got so many people. I know this is the Five of Swords, and a lot of you are gonna be like, oh, but that's like a lying ass bitch. No, it's not. Not in this case. This is somebody who sees the duality of things and who's able to kind of, again, see that truth, that Althea, right? Able to cut through bullshit and be able to still bring people together. And, you know, there's a sense of harmony and traditions and balance that you're able to just hold within yourself. You know, you're a star. Like, I'm hearing, she's so lucky, she's a star, but she cries with a lonely heart, thinking back to that tear card, you know. Um, yeah, why do these tears come at night? Because you're being suppressed, baby. You're being censored. They're trying to censor the shit out of you. They're trying to suppress the shit out of you. It's all energetic, and you gotta finish getting it off of you so that you can really truly thrive here. There are so many things that are lovable about you. Like, just, I don't think you understand how much of a ray of fucking sunshine you are. And I think the people around you that do love you and see this, they can see how this control and this narrative of people who want to control you, they can very clearly see how this is negatively impacting you and your ability to move forward. And I think it kind of breaks their hearts, but I don't think they want to call attention to it. But like, again, you are so like fertile, abundant, you have so many great ideas, and you have the know-how to implement these things, and it's definitely buried. So we want to make sure that we are honoring that divine feminine within us so that we can go ahead and project outward what we need, and what we need for ourselves and what we need to see in the collective. um, you know, give peace a chance. Okay. I feel like this was so like just clean cut. Is there anything else I missed? Let's read from the book, because there's, each card has a poem attached to it. So I want to read, let's read the Muse of Materials. So mesh with me in this nest of wealth, a plentiful, snug nutrition. Absorb this magic, this garden of health. Walk the way towards certain fruition. I love that. And it's so funny because like at the end of the book, like this is literally the last card description in this book, and then it's like about the author, and then of course what's number one but our major arcana and the Fool. And we have the Fool. We have fearlessly jump into the sea of the cosmos. The spinning potentials are calling. Maybe a little foolish today, yet better done fool-like than stalling. Yes, absolutely. Remember in the beginning when I was telling you there was like a little thing here about you having more resources or more available to you than you're giving yourself credit for. Really take stock. I think that you've been maybe wrapped up in this sense, and you're not applying it to yourself in the way that you should be applying it to yourself. So I think that you really need to, for lack of a better phrase, pull your head out of your butt, baby. and really look at yourself and see how beautiful you are, see how stunning your aura is. It is incredible, darling. um there was so many things to be grateful for. I want to post some more Scrabble cards. I did this in the first group, but also, you know, like we're finished pretty early here. I mean, we got some more cards though to finish out this reading. But I want to just see, is there anything else that I may have missed in this part? Let me do this on camera. We have the letter Q, W, O. Do we got another E, Queen? Yes, Queen. Yes, queer Queen. We also have, where's the letter Y? I don't know, something about computers could also be significant because we got QWERTY almost. We almost got QWERTY. Oh, shut up. There we go. The queer Queen on the computer, on the QWERTY keyboard. Yes, Queen. We have BI. You could be bipolar, sexual. A letter A, and let's get one more. A letter O, or you could be so much love and light and more. All right, I'm gonna clean this up. Let's do a little transition. Okay, so we got the Sacred Creators Oracle. Ooh. Okay. She's already spitting out. Okay. These two came out in group number 1, but I'm really just interested in the fact that we've got like so much red and fire in here. So we've got cozy up with risk. Make a mission statement for your soul. Welcome the divine masculine. Magic happens when you most expect it. Let's get a few more. Integrate your knowing. Okay. One step ahead is all you need. I love how this is green here. So, like, I don't know. Green could also be very significant for you at this time. Maybe you asked for signs, green signs. We also have creator fire. We have changes. Creator fire also came out in group number 1. I do feel, yeah, what do you really want? Group number 1, I don't know why you're watching this all the way through. I love you. We have, what is this? We have the now. Integrate your knowing. Integrate your knowing. Okay. Find your sacred flow. I love that. Oh my gosh, I can keep going. Stop, dropping ground. That one was for me because I was like, oh, we could just keep going. Give me more and more and more. All right, so group number 2, what I can see here for you in terms of like your advice, right? We're in the advice section. Meow. Yes. Sacred creators, hyped advice. So cozy up with risk and make a mission statement for your soul. Again, I do feel like there's something here about computers or computer work that needs to be done. Calling myself out to like anyway. Welcome to Divine Masculine. I feel like, again, this is something where you've had to use a lot of masculine energy to kind of like get through this time that you've been in, and I think that we're nurturing the feminine, and so understand that this is energy that's within you. You have masculine and feminine within you, and so I think that in learning how to nurture your divine feminine, make sure that you don't lose sight of the masculine and always welcome it, and welcome the integration that comes with that. magic happens when you most expect it. I do feel like this is also a call for you. Like if you are someone who engages in some sort of energy work, or mixing up the elements and doing things with them, I feel like this is your call to get back into it. With the now, I do feel like there's a heavy need, yeah, stop, dropping ground, and the now, to really anchor yourself in the present moment and find something that anchors you. I also want to talk about creator alchemy since it came out. Yeah, accept and receive. The messages are hot around you, very hot, and they're coming in fast. So no, one step ahead is all you need. I feel like once you take that step, it's just like, it's also like, we've got like the passion here and the knowing, and then it's like, you put your heart in it, and then bam, it's fire, and it changes. But it's also not fire burning out of control. It's, fire that's being met with cooling waters that help to quell it from becoming this wildfire that ends up, I don't know, just being destructive. um what's interesting is that there's also this, like, she didn't want to go on top, you saw that. We've got creator alchemy, and we have accept and receive. So I feel that as you continue to move in this path of just taking one step ahead, aligned heart action, I'm seeing it's almost like the ground underneath is just lighting up green. If you know, you know. Mhm, yes. And it's really like aligning yourself again with that heart facing action of, finding your voice and waking up the voice in others, and using that ability to plan and bring community together to really do something different for a change. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for you. So excited for you. We're gonna get one last message, and this is from the Ocean Dreams Oracle. Ocean Dreams Oracle. I really love these cards. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but they're kind of bluish sparkly on the side here. Like, my favorite, my favorite. Let's see what the ocean has to say. I'm also going to read from the book from this one. Don't judge me, y'all. We have Dream Gate. Yes, you've been tasked with keeping charge of a portal. A portal. Mm-hmm. How beautiful. Okay. We have connecting with the subconscious, dreams as communication. I see the symbols as markers along my path. I am always able to tap into the language of my soul. There is something, so much here, there's so much here about the voice and language and speaking. It's so hard to ignore. Mm-hmm. The more proficient we become with deciphering their language, the richer our waking life may be. The Dreamgate card is a doorway into your subconscious. It is here to help activate the compass of your dreams and the subtle messages that are woven into your inner landscapes. Every night you are faced with a rich treasury of messages which are specific to your own unique blueprint. It is time to celebrate these portals and the messages they wish to offer you. How can I work with my dreams more in order to support my waking life? Mm-hmm. You're being encouraged to focus on your sleep hygiene practices. I'm also calling myself out on that one. um, as you become more familiar with your dreams, it is easier to interpret the transcendent guidance that shines through their messages. Look to this watery card as a celebration of all that rests beneath the surface. I love that for you. That is the message that I received for you today. I really, really I'm rooting for you. And it is a divine cause. It is what we need, and you are the perfect person for it. Don't let them tell you that you're not, okay? Because it's not true. As always, know that you are loved. You are loved. You are so worthy of love. So be well, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.